want a fur, not a second-hand coat. I want a yacht, not a cheap little boat. I tell my daddy not to be depressed. All I need for happiness is the best. I want a diamond, nothing else has appeal. And when it comes to men, you know how I feel. I want a real man. Give me a real man, you know what I mean. I want a real man. Oh, real man, you're what I need.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Real Men. I'm your host, Tim Steeves. This is the men's magazine show for men, about men. It's where men get real. Let's meet our panel today. Tim Rykert dropped in. Hey, Timmy.
I'm all snowboardy.
You are a snowboardy guy, man. Dwayne Hill is here with us. Good to see you, Dwayner. What's that, Dwayne?
That's me flying into a window.
Okay, I like it. Steve Brinder is with us, too. Good to see you, Steve.
Hello, Timmy.
And the lovely and talented Kate Ashby is here.
Howdy. Howdy.
Nice to see you, Kate. Kate's looking ready to hold it down. So let's throw it back to that same cat, Kate Ashby. Kate.
Cat,
you can see how that could happen.
I was called a cat by one of my uncles, Tim.
Okay.
Harvard study has proven that for men to grow old well, they need to be in, they think, a stable marriage, no smoking, little alcohol, regular exercise, and maintain a normal weight. Wow. I think for a man to grow old well, he has to be happy. Whatever makes you happy is going to make you happy, and you're going to be a happy older man. So figure out what makes you happy and stick with it. Tim, do you think about growing old?
I do, Kate, often. And I think that's a good point. Does the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days? Dwayne Hill.
Well, I personally think... yes. Just hold it again. Don't feed it to me. Feed it to yourself. I think that women actually keep men from dying young. I think that is the key. I think they provide stability in a guy's life that men were really very close to going off the rails our whole lives. Like, don't pick that, son. Don't eat that. Oh God, pump his stomach clear. We're the morons who get in trouble. And the women are like, let's get you a bank account and a doctor.
As long as it doesn't turn into as long as it doesn't turn into a midlife crisis at some point where they go, who have I become because you've made me become something that I'm not.
Well, that's because they reflect upon what they were, and of course it's all rose-tinted by then.
Right.
I was the strongest man alive. And I've settled for this shrew.
Steve Brinder's let's be honest, Steve Brinder's the old man on set here.
There you go.
He's the oldest real man we have on the crew. Steve, are you taking care of yourself?
Yeah, we live in an age of ageism where there's a prejudice against old people. I went for an audition for a TV show, and the guy goes, "You're a middle-aged white guy. I don't know what we can do with you." Oh, yeah. And I think you start to feel old when people start telling you you're old. And
maybe when you admit it to yourself, that's the beginning of the end, too.
Well, there's a wonderful Twilight Zone years ago called Kick the Can. And a bunch of old people in a home are saying, it's when we stop playing those kids games that we got old. So they all go outside, they start kicking a can, and they become young, and they take off. And I think that's what we got to remember.
I know Tim Rykert, sorry, Kate, but Tim Rykert lives an extremely youthful life with the snowboarding and stuff. Tim, do you believe in that?
I think what Kay said is exactly right. Happiness is very individual, and so there cannot be any one, this is what men need to be happy in their old age kind of thing. It's so individual. One man might be happier being single, although I think when it does come to old age, men do need to couple up because there's a point where you just can't no longer be a man about town going out and picking up the chicks.
Well, and the one thing that you guys have all said, the one thing that hanging out with you guys that I've really picked up is that sex is really important to you guys and to your happiness.
You picked that up?
Yeah.
Really? No.
Yeah, I get the feeling that sex is extremely important. And so you're talking about wanting a woman around. You don't agree?
Yes, I do.
Well, I don't think wanting a woman around is exactly what I said. I said you need one. You don't drink the bottles with the warning labels on them.
But it's interesting.
Oh my!
Because men, when their wives die, they're totally useless. Old men are totally useless. They'll be in a corner shop, coffee shop, eating their same meals. They can't function without the women.
Well, maybe in a movie.
No.
If I'm a
it is.
70-year-old man and my wife dies and I'm worth, let's say, $300 million, I would probably just hire an incredible staff and fly a helicopter.
Well,
to a mountain for the rest of
that's
my
a
life.
dream world. I'm talking about reality.
Well, I mean, the reality is kind of depressing, isn't it?
And
Well,
the
but
interesting thing is,
I think if you should steal a car once a month, jump ramps with it, and then set fire to it. That's what some guys did to my mom's car, and I bet you they had the best day ever. My mom's like, our car got stolen last night. I said, what? What happened? They go, well, they stole the car, they kicked off the mirrors, they built a makeshift ramp, jump ramp, in a convertible Chrysler, like, woo! And then they set fire to the end. I'm like, I still have a hard-on from that. you know, bye, honey, I'm going to go steal a car.
A makeshift
Boys.
ramp. That's the best part of that story. A makeshift ramp.
makeshift.
For old men ramps.
Do you know what
Meanwhile,
also?
the guy at the coffee shop, I'll have a blintz.
The study also said that men who are wealthier and smarter tend to grow old better than men who are less educated and don't make a lot of money. So.
Well, they'd be less bitter in life, wouldn't they?
Yes.
The ones,
Yes.
Bitterness develops over time, so by the time you get to a certain age, you're either going to be really bitter if you started out bitter, or you're going to be comfortable and wealthy and you've had a good life, and so you're going to take it like a man.
Dwayne, are you just going to basically laugh in the face of death the rest of your life?
Well, no, because I'll be dead. Really, I'll be dead before all you guys are. Because it's like a man's got to exercise regularly, eat well. You know, blah blah. I got strikes on every one of those. I'm surprised I'm alive now.
But you know, it's interesting because hereditary is so important with this. Like, we're talking about what we should do, but you know, all the men in my family died in their mid-50s. So, like, I mean, you got bad DNA wiring, you're screwed.
Which is why you just need to live free.
Yeah.
My grandmother's the best. My grandmother's fat, and she's getting fatter and older, and she knows it's not good for her health, but she swears by eating cake and beef with gravy makes me happy.
That's right.
And that will make me live longer in
Good for
spite
her.
of, you know.
My grandmother died just this last summer, and she had her smokes and drinks right to the end, and that's the way she wanted
How
to
old was
play
she
it
when
out.
she died, Tim?
50.
Sorry?
How old was she when she
She was
died?
deep into her 70s.
There you go.
You know, I
It's
mean,
got to
look,
be quality.
That's plenty.
That's-
70s is plenty, maybe.
know, once you start
Good job,
drooling-
panel. We gotta go. Sorry, gotta go. Good job, panel. When we come back, we're gonna talk sexual urban legends.
Ooh.
And actually, I hit the street on this topic, and listen to this, dude. We're coming right back. Where's the craziest place you ever had sex, man?
Craziest? Well, I was about 15 years old. I was in Greece, so it was a goat pen type deal where all the goats are kind of penned in and stuff, and I was just praying to God that her dad wouldn't come in and come after me with a butcher knife or something. So that's kind of
You're not telling me you did it with a goat.
Well, I am Greek, no.
You know, I mean, we talk about sex a lot on Real Men, and no different on this segment. We're gonna talk. We're talking urban legends, but sexual ones specifically. And we're gonna get that started with a commentary by Dwayne Hill.
Sexual urban legends. What does that even mean? You know, when I think sexual urban legends, I had some time to kill the other day. I was sitting around and I was thinking, well, there's the gerbling story, right? You tape a gerbil up, you put it in a tube, it snakes up your butt and then hits your prostate 1,000 times like a bingo machine, and blammo, next thing you know, you wake up on a couch with a dead gerbil in your anus. And then, of course, there's the girl that wakes up after having a night of incredible sex and says, welcome to the wonderful world of AIDS. Or the girl who wakes up after a weekend on Rohypnol and they find out she has 26 different kinds of sperm in her. There's all these sexual urban legends. Oh, the peanut butter. That's also my favorite. The guy puts a peanut butter in his scrotum and lets the dog lick it off. And, of course, the dog takes the whole package with him, which dogs will do. And they buried it and didn't know where he did it. I thought to myself, all these things work in theory. But in practice, I don't know if they're true. They must have some foundation in truth, but I couldn't determine whether or not they'd be true. But what do I know? I was sitting in the hospital getting a pint of semen pumped out of my stomach. Tim?
As usual, the sensitive and insightful Dwayne Hill, getting us into another serious segment here on Real Men. We're talking sexual urban legends. Timmy, are these things just bull crap, or do you put any stock in these stories at all? First of all, do you have one that Dwayne didn't hit on there?
Well, I am a sexual urban legend, Tim.
Tripod.
We're saying about you at camp.
There's this legend about me. Now, my favorite one of all time, and this is made up because it's totally just a guy's fantasy. The best one is this guy going out on a date with a girl, wanted to get in that night, and she was, so he went out and got some Spanish fly, right, the aphrodisiac, and he slipped it in her drink. They go to the drive-in, he slips it in her drink, and he thinks, well, I'll just take off to the concession while this kicks in. And, of course, by the time he comes back from the concession, what's a poor girl to do? He left her with the Spanish fly. She's humping the gear shift. What else is she to do? She's got to.
He must have been in his glory.
But
And
you know,
wait,
it's not
wait,
true.
Steve,
It's not true.
Steve, wait. He must have been in his glory. There is his woman humping his car. It's cars and sex all at one
Sex
time.
with my best friend.
There you go.
Okay.
And then he got mad at his car. He took his car outside. What is he?
You were all over.
Because he asked,
Just
someone
get out the
said,
digital camera.
someone said it's impossible, that she would most likely would go into a coma or depression. That Spanish fly thing
Well,
is
come on, you
depression.
guys. That would the gear shift
Steve,
one's got to
you
be
are-
an 8th grade crap story. That
She'd go
one's
into a
not true.
coma
Come
or a
on now.
depression.
Spanish fly
You've
doesn't
really
work.
got to get.
I mean,
we got to get you
so I've
2
heard.
prostitutes,
No.
and you got to race them in the nude.
There's a guy.
Go into a depression. First of all, Spanish fly doesn't exist. Hate to break the bubble, it doesn't exist.
How do you know?
How do I? Well, because if it
doesn't
existed,
exist.
we would have all bought it on our 16th birthday. I got Spanish fly.
One at a time.
I got Spanish
Does it
fly.
work?
Oh, I drank it. Oh, putting back Spanish fly. You know, it doesn't work. And Viagra's the first thing we had, and that's great, except for the fact that everything's blue tinted. So I think as far as that goes, Spanish fly doesn't work. So that's a sexual legend. It's sexual urban legend. The gallon of semen out of the stomach, that's got to be, because how many guys were in that room?
I heard it was 8 gallons. So.
I think that a lot.
Fill her up.
You know.
What's the most you can possibly swallow?
So
Supreme.
drink 8
I
gallons
do
of
about
water in it.
7 gallons.
Come on.
Kate can do 7 gallons. But she will have a runny nose.
That sounds like a challenge.
Have you heard of any other ones, Kate, that we haven't
Well,
touched
first
on?
of all, I think that obviously some of them are probably not true, but I think that probably a lot of them are. I mean, you can't make up stuff like that.
Yes, you can.
Fiction
you
is-
can.
it's
It's a fantasy.
That's why it's a legend. All legends are
Here's
made
my
up.
favorite, and it's true.
Well, okay, what?
Rectal Foreign Bodies, a website. Go check it out. Rectal Foreign Bodies. The guy had piles from hemorrhoids. Horrible story. Piles hang down from hemorrhoids, and he kept stuffing them up. And he'd use an 18-centimeter artillery shell, which is not very big, but it's an artillery shell, to stuff them back up. He stuffed the whole thing into his ass, and he went to the hospital because he couldn't get it out. He went to the hospital, and they went to remove it out of his ass. They realized it's live, and they had to call in the bomb squad. There's a bad day for the bomb squad guys.
Now, that one,
Fire in the hole!
Oh, man.
that one I know is true because it was my cousin. So that one for sure.
Tell him I say hi.
Speaking of the hole, a woman
Okay.
finds out that her man is having an affair on her, so he comes home that night and she decides to tie him up. Get a little adventurous. She says, I want to tie you up. She ties him up. She ties him up with his face down. And she goes and takes her curling iron that she's had plugged in and shoves it up his butt.
Not with
and
styling
says-
attachments.
Yeah, with styling attachments, yeah.
Page
not,
boy.
Not the crimper, the tiny little, and sticks it up his butt to say, hey, you're never going to do that, and walks out and leaves.
Really?
And he was rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, he was burnt
And
badly.
that, and that wasn't invented by some.
It smelled
woman who
nothing
was
like
just
chicken.
Out for revenge and dreaming that up one night.
I don't
My favorite. Oh, here's
know.
here's a zinger that a friend of mine did. He
Oh,
put,
right.
He put. He's like he broke up with this girl and she was an air waitress or a stewardess or whatever you want to call them, and he dropped
Flight
the clothes. She stayed
attendant.
at a hotel and she dropped
Air
him.
waitress.
Well, you know, let's face
Whoa.
it, an air waitress.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, exactly. A whole hour of training and you're calling me a waitress?
Tell the story. Tell the story.
Anyway,
Oh, my
well, let's face it. No, am I wrong?
ahead.
What, they're
Tell
gonna beat
the
me up?
damn
Sorry, well,
story.
she's interrupting. He basically returned her vibrator, put it on the top of the pile at the hotel, and covered it in Tabasco sauce and washed it off. So it wouldn't show at all, but believe me, plastic's very porous.
All right, nice segment. Good job. Anytime you
get to
can
say
end with a
anything?
vibrator in
You said
Tabasco,
depression
that's a good
and-
segment. When we come back, we're going to talk obesity on Real Men, where men get real. Come back.
I'm still thinking about you chasing the two prostitutes nude.
Ah! See Brinder on the loose.
With you. Ooh. Hey, welcome back to Real Men. We've been talking about sexual urban legends today, but now we're going to shift gears, take this topic a little more seriously. We're going to talk about obesity in men. And Steve, you're getting up there, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm always teasing you.
I know.
And do you take care of yourself,
Yeah,
man?
you have to as you get older, because I think everybody does now, because we live in an age of technology where we're all at the computers. You know, years ago people would go out and they'd do their work and you get fit that way. But also there's more stress now. People don't have the time to work out. And also we live in an age of fast food where the food is like garbage. And you really
Yeah.
see this with kids. Kids are so out of shape now.
I know, I think it's actually something that should be somehow taught in school. You know, nutrition, but how to eat well and deal with and maintain a good body weight and all that should be something that's brought in right from the beginning.
But they don't care when you teach
But it's
health.
true. It's amazing how out of shape kids are now.
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
nutrition is being taught fairly well. They could always step it up. And I think nutrition, you know, they preach nutrition, but then you cannot, then you go home and watch TV or walk past, just walk down the street and look at billboards. The marketing of fast, horrible foods for you is so massive in this country, in this continent. We can't get away from it, and that's the sad part. Obviously, there's people who are obese because they have a metabolism thing. They could eat bean sprouts all day and still be obese. But when you're talking about just the average Joe who's getting fat, it's bloody McDonald's and Burger King and all those. It's just the most awful foods that we.
Let's talk to the big man on panel. Dwayne insists he goes about 290. I think he's more like about 320.
I really appreciate that, Tim. You're literally a legal midget. You know, I was having a birthday cake this morning, as I do every morning. And I looked down at it and I said, you know what? I'm not eating the roses. And I took them off one at a time. I left 3.
It's one step, man. That's one step. And you can...
It's not easy, you know. It's.
Do you worry about it, Dwayne?
Yeah, you know, my problem is the fact that, you know, I don't mind being heavy so much. It's the fact that, you know, literally you can't find clothes in your size, you know, because I'm 6'5" as well. And you go into stores where, like, you know, it's like, well, sir, most people your size are dead. So,
yeah. I don't think anyone would describe you as a fat guy, though, man. You're just a really big guy.
Thank you, yes, really.
A huge guy.
If you weigh more than 99.9% of the population, you can fall into the fat guy category pretty comfortably. And you're right, you know, it's all marketing. It's, you know, hey, wow, wow, these crazy cheese stringers. It's like apples. You like them, I think. You know, there's no good fruit commercials.
Absolutely.
They're having bananas. Everybody loves bananas. You know, they just don't market it well.
Portions, too, when you go into restaurants. And especially if you go into the States, and especially if you get into places like Vegas, and when you get your food served to you, the portions are enormous.
In Vegas, like you went there for health. We went to Vegas and we were chain smoking pipes. You know, around Vegas, pull the slot machine with our feet.
Years ago, everybody wanted to be big because it was a sign of health. You're strong.
Yeah.
Like, a big woman because you know, she had to help you out. And now it's all this kind of thin. Like, you go to a store, like, I don't know you, Dwayne, but I can't buy anything. Every guy's got a waist like this. Like, it's a guy's like size 20.
In Samoa, I'm a god. I am a god in Samoa. And what is the beauty myth now is really unhealthy because you have absolutely no protective fat for the inevitable when the Ruskies pull the buttons. And we have to eat Tim Rykert to stay alive. There was no meat in that ass. No meat. Oh, one of the testicles seems free.
It's so interesting to listen to you guys.
I told you we'd take a topic seriously.
Talking about this. It's really interesting to hear men talk about this because
It's a different thing with men and women, though. Women are concerned about their weight. And,
Right.
and looking and having that image of the model and the thin and the thing. When we're talking about this thing, we're talking about dangerously unhealthy obesity.
The double elbows, you know, that. What did you put in that step?
Can a guy be sexy and obese at the same time?
Yes.
Have you seen Sexy?
Ask People magazine.
Yes. Yeah.
You
If
know
a man,
sexy
yes,
obese
I do.
men?
I know a man who's obese who gets laid all the time.
Why?
I find him sexy because
By insecure women.
He finds himself sexy. Not at all.
Really?
Not at all.
I would say the opposite might be true.
He finds himself he carries himself really well. He apologizes for nothing. He's right down the barrel. He's confident.
Confidence freaks women out, man.
Is that it?
I watched the movie The Tao of Steve. You see the Tao
Yes,
of Steve?
yes.
And it's like they talk about the Tao of Steve. You know, he's this really fat guy who's great with women. It's like, well, he's got a bit of a double chin, and they pad his belly. It's like, we put an extra 20 pounds on him. What a Buick! And women still want to sleep with him?
Yeah.
But they always
And he's
do
a
that in
professional
movies.
hypnotist.
How
They don't
big
show
is
that.
this, Kate, how big is this guy you're talking about?
He's big.
Real big guy?
He's obese. He's big.
But if he took off his clothes, wouldn't you go, oh, God, what the hell is
No.
that?
Like,
No.
Kate, north of
No, you
300?
wouldn't.
North of 300 pounds, Kate?
Yeah, for sure.
And how tall is he?
He's probably, he's big, he's tall. He's probably about 6 feet.
Okay.
Confidence in a man makes women think
big fella.
something's going on I don't know about. Here's this great big guy, normally not attractive, but he's too confident. He must be thinner than
And
I
he's
think.
funny, and he's funny. He can make you laugh, and
He
he's
better.
confident, and he loves women. He's very sexual and very sexy, and I find him completely sexy.
I just can't see when a guy takes off his clothes and his stomach, you know, covers his penis. And you go, oh, give me that boy right now.
Men have fat women fantasies, so why can't women have fat men fantasies?
But I think for women, I don't know about for guys, but for women, it's what's going on in here as well, right? Yeah, your body's important and all that jazz, but it's what's going on here. It's the chemistry that's going on between you there that makes.
If your face is in a pillow, you can picture he's whoever you want him to be.
I just think obesity is so unhealthy. It's so unhealthy, you know.
When the
just
fat
on your
women
heart.
fantasy came up, we had 3 cameramen and a floor director nodding profusely, so there's got to be something there.
Do women have fantasies of big guys?
There was
I
that
don't know.
magazine.
I don't think it's that specific. I think that women just.
All right, let's jump out of here, panel. Nice
Yeah.
talk. We got a couple more minutes on Real Men, so don't go away. We're talking obesity. You're putting on a couple, little bit.
You're turning me on, Tim.
Mix in a salad. How's this, Kate?
That's
You like
nice.
it? We're coming right back.
Look at that tummy. Tummy.
Hey, nice work, huh? This cameraman, my man Alton over here, he can just shoot anything. Welcome back to Real Men. We've been talking about aging, sexual urban legends, and obesity. So let's stay with obesity. Couple more minutes. Dwayne, anything to add on it, man?
Take it away, Mr. Fudge. I had a lot of chocolate during the break. So I'm a little wired. But, you know, I think honestly, it kind of sucks because I'm one of those guys who I love being dormant. I got no problem jet skiing, but I have no problem going, look at them jet ski. Wow. But I do want to, but I think I think inherently we want to look good for a mate or a spouse. Like, you want to look good. If they find plus size is great, that's even better. But you do want to look good, so you do have, it's your inner self-image that kind of really matters, you know?
But there's nothing worse than the guy that looks great who keeps saying, do I look good in this? Do you feel that I'm getting a little,
I love when you put on a guy what women are famous for.
That's right.
There's nothing worse than a guy who says, do I look fat?
Oh my God, I dated a guy when we went to the restaurant. I was like, it didn't go long, but he would look at himself in the mirror when we were having our meal.
You know what
And
burns
didn't you
me?
think to yourself,
You know what
what a
burns me
woman?
though, Kate?
You know,
Kate,
maybe he's
let me jump in, Timmy. You know what burns me, Kate, is that you've dated these guys. Where were we when you were out dating everyone? That's a little sidebar.
I find
Go
that.
ahead.
Right. I'm just saying that I think that there are guys that are good-looking who are pains in the butts because they're just...
We're all
constantly-
insecure.
I think girls
the
think-
guy who looks in a mirror is insecure. As they asked a famous playwright, why do you look in the mirror? He goes, just to see if I'm here. I'm still exist. You know?
Right,
I mean,
right, right.
That's what we do for
Right.
it, you know?
To see if you're here. No, those guys she's talking about are like budgies. They look in the mirror, they go, you're good looking. Who are you saying that to? Well, don't talk when I'm talking. My nose, it's broken. I mean, they're morons. They really are.
She's
They're
dating wrestlers. That's
vacuous,
what she's
shallow
doing.
people. And the reason that you do go out is you think, maybe he's more than that. And you go with him once or
Yes,
twice, you go, you
yes.
know what?
I
I have to be that shallow to even, and I
Yes.
can't, I'll sleep with him
Okay,
once.
that's
I'll
it.
sleep with
Great
him
job.
once.
Great job,
I'll have the
guys.
memories.
Thanks for tuning into Real Men. Bottom line, if you're losing weight for her or him, it's the wrong reason. Do it for yourself. And where the hell was I when Kate Ashby was dating 90 guys a year? Out.
90. No wonder
I
you're still
don't
so
even
good.
know.
That guy is gay.
You know what I meant, though. Like, that's a guy. And he's the exception to the one to the rule. The good-looking guy who's not. You know what, the looking guy are very confident.
No, you know what? Actually, I agree with that. You don't notice it because you know what? You don't notice it because you don't do that. But I had roommates.
My son's like that.
But are women not famous for that?
Yes, oh, for sure they are. They are.
But I had roommates.
Sorry, Kate. Put a number to it.
Yeah, all those. Yeah.
Where was I when Kate was a slut?
Yeah. Last call.